Were you guys all really disappointed when silver didn't hit the moon? Or is the real silver squeeze yet to come? Let's get into it. Hello friends, this is Persian Stacker and welcome to my channel where we talk about hedging against inflation by investing or storing your wealth in physical bullion, coins, gold, and silver. Please like, smash that thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Feel free to share this video with your friends and keep tuning in for more fun content. Clearly, there has been quite a bit of volatility in the silver market over the past weekend. Needless to say, a lot of up, then a lot of down. We were hitting past $30 an ounce through Monday morning. It came crashing down to about 25. Now it's picked up a bit more to 27 today. Today's Friday, February 5th. Well, is the silver squeeze over? Did it already come and go? You're hearing chatter from Wall Street Bets and Wall Street Silver and Silver Squeeze calling foul on Citadel and the big banks and hedge funds. Accusations of hedge fund plotting. The paper price of silver since, of course, has gotten crushed. Not so much with the physical. There's lots of theories as to why. A lot of people are talking about this coordinated plot by these hedge funds who own SLV, the paper derivative of silver. In my opinion, I don't think it's really over fully. It could still be ongoing. I think really if you look back at a macro view, this is just the beginning of the real silver squeeze, not what happened over the weekend. You know, the bright side of what happened so far is that more people are now aware of silver being an asset and an industrial commodity, and the fact that technology and industry really needs the metal more than just being some source of wealth or money. And as of today, due to the demand in industry, physical metal is still extremely undervalued. Us seasoned or some veteran stackers, we've been waiting a little while on the sidelines for the premiums to go down during all this excitement this past weekend. New buyers, no worries, everything will be fine. You just got caught up in a little bit of the FOMO, the fear of missing out. And it's okay. Your physical silver will come to you. You bought it a little bit high, but in the long run, you'll still be okay. It still has value over time. Remember, in the end, you put your cash in the right place. As for the hedge funds, you got to remember, guys, it's a different story. It's a different, problem than what happened with GameStop. GameStop is not silver. All these retail investors came in and they bought the stock, and it's hard to play with the big boys on this. These guys can hedge their positions. If they're shorting, they can go long, reverse their position and get out. They can come back and re-short it like they did. The problem is, if you're holding on to that GameStop stock for a purpose or for a cause, you rode up and a lot of those people sold you out and they collected their cash. And if you held on to that theory and that ethereal notion, you held on to that stock and you lost big later. But silver is a different animal. These hedge funds are holding paper, not the physical silver. They don't have large physical positions in the physical metal. They are thinking the future contracts are good as they can demand delivery at the COMEX. And what are these futures? Remember, future is just leverage. Futures are taking a small amount of money and controlling a large amount of paper. So in the COMEX now, if you take a silver contract, a hedge fund, it's for, I think, 5,000 ounces of silver. And for gold, it's 100 ounces. So pretty much for every dollar, you control $15 of paper. So, these guys are betting on or hoping that they can take delivery if everything falls or fails. But there's not going to be enough silver to cover those contracts. Right now, as we speak, there's a 1.5 trillion market cap on the paper silver. But that's paper, guys, like SLV, which is held in the trust by JP Morgan, and PSLV, which is held by the Royal Canadian Mint. which I trust probably a little bit more than JP Morgan. There's not enough to fulfill the paper derivatives if they try to take to try to take possession. If you think you're going to stick it to Wall Street by buying SLV, you are playing in their hands. How do we prevent that, guys? How do we actually eventually stick it to Wall Street? Buying actual physical silver, taking out of their hands. If they don't have the silver to take possession of, they're going to be stuck holding those contracts. Big losses for them. You take out your money from their banks, which they're using as capital for leverage, and they're taking it for you for free. When you put your money in a savings account, what do you get? 0.25% interest. They take that money, they buy their futures, and boom, they've leveraged all your money. They make millions, and you make a couple dollars on your thousands. So buying the physical product is the way to take that potential out of their hands. Well, how do we buy silver then, guys? My opinion, and the way I've done it, stages and during the dips. I never take huge amounts of money and throw it all into silver at one time. Because of market changes, going up, down, changes in premiums especially, I wait for what I think is a good opportunity and I buy some and I hold and wait again. It's still a good time to stack, guys, but let's wait a little bit for the pullback. And what type of pullback do I mean? I'm talking about maybe some premiums, obviously. Right now, if you're going to buy an American Silver Eagle, I don't suggest buying it at $9, $10, $11 over premium. That's a crushing amount of premium that I think we can wait on until the supply comes up and demand dwindles a little bit more. And don't worry about the SLV prices. That's just paper. And who cares if they manipulate it? They can all get together, buddy, push the market down by selling millions of their silver paper, which they've been caught doing. Remember, JP Morgan has to pay over $1 billion in fines for spoofing or faking all these paper contracts to manipulate the market and push silver prices down. So whatever, they can push it down to $10 an ounce. But guys, remember, that doesn't translate directly into physical silver prices. If silver drops to $10, remember what we saw over the height of that pandemic there. If it drops, you think you can go into, log into AppMex or SD Bullion or Provident or go to your local coin shop or dealer and buy that Eagle for a couple bucks over a spot at 10? I doubt it. There's no way these guys are letting it go for that little when the demand becomes high. In fact, that's the whole point. Opposite. I think people will buy like crazy. And if it becomes a kind of a weird parabolic curve where, they push the price of silver down and lots of people go and buy physical silver, you're going to see this thing spin off and detach from the paper market. And physical and paper won't be held together or won't be following the same trends. And who knows what could happen after that? What if we as a people have all the silver and we decide we don't want to sell it for low? We don't want to sell it for what they call spot. The control of the market is eventually going to go to the people that control the physical silver. The system we're in, it's debt fueled. This crazy fiat system, it's still going. It's proven to be pretty resilient. There's a lot of money in the market right now. But at some point, guys, that day will come. And how will it come? It's not going to come from you, me, and my buddy buying a few ounces of silver here and there, or even a few bars. It's going to come from the industry, as I talked about earlier. This industry uses millions and millions of ounces of silver. They need it for solar panels, electric cars, the cell phones, digital devices, you name it. Then those that will hold the silver, right, will have the real money. So if it doesn't directly translate to money now, we're not minting coins out of silver and putting in circulation, but that value will be realized the day industry, that demand from industry rises. But remember, guys, SLV paper isn't always the worst or the big bad wolf. It's manipulating it that's the big bad wolf. There is a reason for SLV or PSLV. It's a hedge. Miners, your coin dealers, your big coin dealers, online bullion dealers, industrial companies, people who produce this stuff, need this stuff, use this stuff, and sell this stuff. They need SLV and PSLV to hedge against silver. They take long positions. Why? So they can lock in a low price, just in case silver skyrockets, so they don't be caught having to buy silver at tremendous prices. They use it to hedge against potential changes in the market that can bankrupt their business. So futures markets are good, but the audacity, the greed, the disgustingness is when big banks and hedge funds who have no use for this stuff, who don't actually produce a product and give us anything, they come in and they manipulate the asset. And that's blatant, and that's morally wrong, and it's corrupt. They create paper certificates, they flood the market, smash the prices down, and then they buy it on the cheap. JP Morgan, like I said before, over $1 billion in fines for spoofed or fake silver contracts. In the end, guys, continue to stack. Buy on the dips, hold off, be patient, wait for the premiums to drop. There will be plenty, and there is plenty of silver out there. Thank you again for listening. Please like and subscribe to get more content. Hit that notification bell. And remember, keep on stacking.